Hi everyone, welcome back to the Stitches and Scribbles channel. My name is Erin and we're here for another episode of Vlogmas. So at this point you should have already seen other videos in this sequence because I am now filming out of order because that's just where we're at in the Vlogmas experience. But today for me it is actually December 16th, but you will be seeing this on December 24th. I probably will have said this in a previous video at this point, but I am starting to get ever so slightly burned out from doing daily videos. So when I realized I had a couple of videos that could be filmed on the same day, I decided to go ahead and just knock out multiples at the same time. So that's what's happening today. The goal is to film 3 videos today, but this will be the latest one released of that set of 3. So that's kind of what we're working with today. But we do still have our Advent calendar, and we're going to open day 24 because that's what day it is for you. Can I find a day 24 on here? Yes, right in the middle. We have a dark blue candle, and this one is Smoke and Cedar. It's a very, campfire scent, but with a little bit of sweetness to it. I do like that one. It does definitely smell like campfire. Campfire though, so gonna have to be careful with that one and when it's burned. But I do like it. It definitely ends on the sweet note. It's almost like a vanilla or like a caramelized sugar smell. I wonder if that's from the cedar. But anyway, that's our candle for today. So this video is going to be more of a chatty video because I wanted to end Vlogmas with a couple of more longer, more talkative videos, so that's what we're doing today. But I wanted to show you all of the things that I am bringing on my Christmas vacation trip. So we're going to visit my in-laws in St. Louis, which if you watched last year's Vlogmas, that's where Vlogmas started last year. But we are leaving a little before Christmas, coming back a little after Christmas, but I realized I'm going to have a lot of time both in the car and once we get there to work on projects. So usually when we're there, there's a lot of movie watching going on or watching hockey games or other sports depending on what season it is. And we're also going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I typically knit during Dungeons and Dragons just to have something to do with my hands in between turns. So I knew that I was going to have a lot of knitting time plus the total combined 12 hours in the car. So I wanted to make sure that I was extra prepared, but I think a lot of these are just going to be my projects going into January as well. But still all individually small projects, even though I'm bringing a lot of yarn with me. So the first thing on my list is actually 2 sets of yarn that I want to do exactly the same things with, and that'll make sense in a second. It has been on my list for a while to make a Musselburgh hat or Musselborough hat. I've seen so many different pronunciations of that pattern by, I believe it's Isolde Teague who designed it. Basically it is a hat that's knit double thick, and it ends up being reversible because of how it's constructed. You basically knit it in a long tube with decreases on one end and increases on the other end. And you stuff one half inside of the other half to make it double layered, but can be flipped inside out. So I've been wanting to make that for a while because I do wear hats in the winter very frequently, so it makes sense for me to have multiple hats available. But I don't necessarily want the space of I don't want so many hats taking up space in my closet. So making double reversible ones makes a lot of sense for me to have. So I actually have a couple sets of yarn where I want to make a Musselburgh hat and then make matching accessories to go with it. So the first thing I actually have are these 2 yarns, which as you can see are already knit into hats. I bought these yarns at the same time. They're the same brand, so I know that they're the same composition, although I do not remember what they were. I do know that they are superwash merino. But I knit both of these hats a few years ago when I had first discovered local yarn stores, and this was from a local yarn store somewhere else in Wisconsin. I don't even remember the name of the store. But I knit these with 2 strands of the yarn, which meant that I got one hat out of it, but I used like an entire skein of yarn for each of these. So I know that each hat is a full skein of yarn. This one might be slightly less than a full skein because it's shorter than the purple one. But since these are so similar, I thought that they would work really well as a Musselburgh hat because it could just be reversible, because I'm not going to wear like both of these at the same time. But I do have a jacket that I really like that is like a teal green color, so both of these match that jacket. I also still have a skein left of each of them because I bought 2 of each colorway. So the plan is to frog both of these and knit them back together into a single Musselburgh hat, but then also make a pair of mittens to match each side of the hat. And if I have enough yarn left over, maybe make a pair of like short socks to go with it as well. I was trying to stay away from doing any sort of a scarf with these because I didn't think I'd have enough yarn to do the Musselburgh and mittens and a scarf. So I think socks are going to be what I do with the leftovers. Plus with socks, I could always go find a contrast color for the toes, heels, and cuff if I'm worried about how much yardage I have left. So that's the plan for those. So those are going with me. I'm actually going to keep the hats knit up, I think. Maybe I will wind them before I go because that'll probably be easier storage wise. But the plan for those is to get one Musselburgh hat where the inside is the like brown and teal and the other side is the like purple and teal, and then have 2 pairs of mittens and 2 pairs of socks from the 4 combined total skeins of yarn. That's the plan. I also have another set of yarn that I plan on doing the same thing with. So the first colorway is the Happy Sock by Hobbii in color number 5. This was something that I got with points from Hobbii at some point. And I do have 5 skeins of these. So in total I have, I forget the yardage on this. It's 210 meters, so like 250 yards each. But I do want at least a pair of socks with these, but I would also not mind having a Musselburgh hat because these are also colors that I wear fairly frequently. I like the kind of sagey green that's in there in particular. But then I also have a yarn that I believe was also from Hobbii. Oh, there's a tag in here. I can pull the tag out. This was Hobbii Atlas, which I think maybe they don't have anymore. But Hobbii Atlas in color number 2. And I have 2 skeins of this, and they are 459 yards, 420 meters per skein. But this is the colorway for that. So similar colors. They're both like blue, green, purple, pink, orange. This one has a little bit of like yellowy green in it too. So they're similar, but this one's very neon and this one's like more like primary and dusky tones. So I thought that these 2 colors would also do well together as a 2-color Musselburgh hat, where I could do one side in this color and one side in this color. And then again, hopefully with those I'll have enough to do a matching pair of socks or mittens in each colorway. I feel like I could definitely get another thing out of this yarn. We'll have to see with this one, because this one I only have the 2 skeins of it, but also if it works with the other yarn, it should work with this one, because these skeins are about the same yardage as these skeins, so hopefully that'll all work. And then I can start growing my Musselburgh hat collection, because I've heard from multiple people that as soon as you make one, you want to make tons of them. So I'm really excited about those. And again, this is a colorway that will match that one jacket I have, as well as this one. Especially now that I'm subbing more regularly, the opportunities for being on recess duty are more frequent than they used to be. So having nice warm hats and mittens is definitely like much more of an imminent need than it was before. So definitely planning on making those. And then the last project that I want to take was actually one of my Small Business Saturday purchases. So this was a cowl kit with, this is Emma's Yarn brand. So it's 7 minis. The original pattern that this was supposed to be used with is called the Goat Cowl by Laura Dobratz. I was not a huge fan of that cowl design, so I actually found a couple different ones that I want to use, but I'm not sure which one I want to have yet. I also think I might want to try to arrange these in a fade instead of the order that they are currently in. And I figured out a couple different ways that I can do that, especially because this colorway has some blue and gold in it, and so does this one. So it'll blend kind of the like yellow tones with the more like just blue tones. So there were a couple ways to arrange it in a fade, but I have kept it all together for now. But I will probably cake it up before I leave, so that it's not something I have to do once I'm there. But the reason why I picked the Musselburgh hats, socks, and mittens as my like main projects that I'll be working on is because the Musselburgh hats especially are big chunks of just stockinette stitch in the round, where you don't have to worry about increases or decreases, and you're just knitting in a tube. And I figured that would make really good car knitting and D&D knitting. And then I could have the cowl, which will probably have some increases and decreases because I want kind of like a pointed front cowl design. That would be good like movie watching knitting. So that's why I have so many projects planned to bring with me. But I'm really excited to work on all of them, and I think they'll all be really good things to like take into January if I don't finish them, which I don't think I'm going to finish every single one, but I think I'll enjoy having a couple different projects to rotate between. So that's the plan for winter break knitting. And I will be doing a episode 25 of Vlogmas. So this is not the last Vlogmas episode you'll see from me, but tomorrow's video will also be more of a chatty video, just kind of wrapping up and talking about how the Vlogmas experience went this year, because it was very, very different than last year. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed a little chatty video with me as your holiday season is winding down. Although if you're Catholic like me, the Christmas season is just beginning today on December 24th. So if that applies to you too, then have a very Merry Christmas season, since that's starting today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you heard today, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that you can be notified of all of my crafty videos right here on YouTube. And if you would like to follow me on other forms of social media, that information will be in the description box below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.